relieving though.
Yeah,
Like
but
you
then,
sort of dump them in school and then you come home and you have your time to yourself as
not
against if they're
exactly,
home.
because you still have to wake up early to do this and that before they go to school. So
Mm,
you don't win either way. See,
yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, there's no winning
really?
when you're a
I
parent.
thought if if they go, then you are fine. If they're on
but
vacation,
before
rather
they
it's
go,
more
there's a lot to do.
to do.
Obviously, depending on how old they are, right? There's a lot to do before they go. So that can get
No worries,
pretty-
midweek. Thursday will be here soon, and then Friday, and then you can go have your weekend. And our weekend in Sokran is not relaxing enough.
There's no winning when you're a parent.
Sorry,
It's a never-ending journey.
I'm not a parent yet, so I can't relate. Maybe
Yeah,
when
it's
I
a
get there.
never ending journey, and you never stop parenting, because our parents still parent us.
Yeah.
There's no end to that journey. Yeah. So
Why is there a constant? Oh, what is my child doing? Is my child fine? Is that like
once
is it
you're a
that-
parent, even if your child is 80 years, you will still worry about them.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't just leave them alone. They'll be fine. I mean.
Obviously, they will be fine, but you will still worry about them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you will worry about them, and obviously, again, depending on the kind of child they are, all the kids are different.
Yeah.
So you worry about certain things. Maybe one of them, you worry about her decision-making skills. She's like, "Ugh," because she maybe making a lot of bad decisions. I was the one making all the bad decisions. So obviously, I'm sure by now my mom still worries about me. But I'm a big girl, but she will still worry about me because Charlie, decision, dear Charlie, I can just make it.
And just go with
I
it.
know. So yeah, one of them will be a certain kind of way. So you would worry about this and that, and then maybe the other one. I mean, every child is different. So,
Okay.
but as a parent, it never ends.
So then, shouldn't you just have less children so you have less to worry about? I mean,
Well, these days, does it really matter? Less children is. What is your idea of less children?
No, just
What
like the
number
way you're
comes to mind?
saying,
Like 1, 2.
No, like 2. I
Yeah,
feel
2
like
is
a
good.
child should have a sibling.
2
so
is
like
good, but 2 is not less children.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, you just have to think
Even
for
1.
2 people.
1 is not less children. Listen, there is so much to do when,
Okay.
once you have a child, whether 1 or 10, the value really is the same.
But
Trust me.
10.
Oh,
You
trust
have
me
to
when I
think for
tell
all
you.
10.
That's the thing. Being a parent is being a parent, right? Whether you have 10 kids or you have 1 child, you're a parent. And you do the same thing. Like, parenting is like, it doesn't matter the number of kids you have. It's like...
But doesn't it make it sort of worse if you have more?
No, actually, when you have more, it's better because then they take care of each other. And it makes you... It relieves you of the burden.
Natalia, this one, dear. isn't it?
Seriously.
Because
Seriously. If you have... Imagine if you have 10 kids, right? Chances are that maybe the oldest one will be like, I don't know, 17, 18. He'll take care of the rest of them. And if they are 10, if the oldest is like 17, 18, obviously right after the 18 will be maybe a 16, then a 14, and they trickle. They will take care of each other. You don't have to worry about nothing. But when you have 1, that is where the problem is. That is where the proper problem is.
Yes.
Because you have to take care of that child forever.
Forever.
There's nobody to do nothing with. That's where the problem
Now,
is.
what if you have
People
first
think-
ones too who are very bad at making decisions like you and decided, well, I don't want to have anything to do with my siblings. They should mind
No,
their
it's
own
how you
business.
raise them. Making bad decisions has nothing to do with taking care of your kids. It's external. Making
Okay.
bad decisions is external. It's not internal. I mean, when it comes to helping your parents out at home, when it comes to with your other siblings, it's always a thing. Depends on how you raise your kids. They'll always support you. And they'll support other kids too. So the challenge is not having
Multiple
plenty kids. They take care of each other. When you have 1 or sometimes 2, that is where the challenge, proper challenge is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's for now. You come and listen to this conversation again in a couple of years and see whether it's true.
Oh, it is true. I'm sure for anyone who's listening to me, listen, if they would send me a message right now, I'm sure that they would agree with what I'm
With
saying.
what you're saying.
Yeah, they would.
Eish,
Totally.
But 10 pounds, 2 dear. 2 looks advantageous.
It doesn't have to be 10 per
Or like
se.
even maybe 4. 2 and 4 even.
The challenge is in maybe the finances.
Okay.
Because obviously, utia for fees for everything. And school. Why don't schools give discounts when you have
Multiple kids in the same school.
seriously? Because
Like, hey, I'm here 3, 4. Then the fourth one will not pay the same.
it's not even about the fees. There are things like maybe bus service and all of that. So, for instance, if one child is paying for a term bus service of about 2,000, 3,000, and there are 2 or 3, they can, split
Subsidize.
the other ones. Like, these things should help parents out. But they
Wow,
don't do
wow,
that.
Bano.
But they don't do
They should come
that.
and help you out.
Oh, obviously. Because I chose to put all 3 of my kids in your school as opposed to 1. That's to the school's advantage. I brought you 3 kids. If I give you 3,000 right now, as opposed to 1,000. See the difference? See the difference? You know what? Why am I having this conversation with you? You obviously cannot relate. Let's go on and talk about the trends.
I cannot. Asamoah Gyan is trending today, so he put out a certain statement. I'm going to read it. He said, "I haven't been fair to the youth and the people of Ghana. Henceforth, I am not affiliated to any political party. I will continue with my humanitarian work and help the youth of Ghana in my own small way. Nothing political. I wish all the political parties a peaceful election on the 7th December. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you." So Asamoah Gyan was seen at one of the rallies of the New Patriotic Party, and people were, I think the penalty thing they will never leave him for it. He said, you missed your penalty, you too, this is the party you decided to support. That's for those who don't like the MPP. And then he's come out, he's released this statement. I don't know why he had to sort of exclude himself, because once you show up at a particular political party's rally, people are going to say that you are supporting them. Like if it was in some have even just performed, have been paid to perform at certain rallies.
Why would you show up there?
Yeah.
If it's not to support.
If it's not to support, that's what I'm saying. That the fact that he did shows that he was actually supporting the MPP. But now he says he's no longer affiliated to any political. I think he should have just said
so.
He's
He
no
says,
longer.
"Eat at your own risk."
Vote at your own risk.
Vote at your own
Vote
risk.
at your own risk. Vote.
These days, when we are no longer connected to, I don't know, a party, a thing, a place, we just say, "Listen, at your own
At
risk."
your own risk. Vote at your own risk.
Eat at your own risk.
This is from Asamoah Gyan. It's not from Etonam.
But why is he saying that he wants to support in his own small way? We don't want a small way. We want big way.
Well, he said that
Why-
he will just continue with his humanitarian work and help the youth of Ghana. So that is the small way. He doesn't necessarily, I guess he's trying to say that he doesn't need a political platform.
But we disagree. We don't want a small way. We want a big way.
Okay, so
Asamoah
Asamoah
Gyan
Gyan,
is a
please.
big man. He has to
Natalia
do it a
says
big
You have to
way.
do it, especially also because also trending is the Baba Yara Sports Stadium and the fact that it's in an extremely bad condition. I'll read something here quickly from the Confederation of African Football. They have withdrawn. And you see this Baba Yara thing, It's sad because you remember when the whole Angola match went on, and then the what is this? The deputy director for the National Sports Authority said, "Well, it's the same pitch, and the Angolans played on it, and they were able to score. Did they play in the sky?" It was such a very, I don't want to use a certain word for it, but that comment was not good at all. So the Confederation of African Football has withdrawn its approval for the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi, Ghana, due to technical infractions, including an unsuitable playing field. CAF has further made recommendations that needs fixing before the next inspection date. If pitch doesn't pass approval, Ghana's game against Sudan on October 11th will be moved to a neutral venue. The NSA, that's the National Sports Authority, will require around $100,000 to fix the current pitch in the interim before a more modern one may be installed permanently. And someone commented underneath and said, there's a politician who has $1 million in her house. So, like, if she could just take $100,000 out of that.
She no longer has the $1 million in her house. Why are you people still speaking in the past?
Please,
She
it's
had.
a comment. She had. So now she doesn't.
Now she doesn't.
Okay.
Now I'm sure she no longer keeps the money in
her house.
So let's not refer to that anymore. It's a thing of the past. Maybe in future when we find out where we keep the money, then we can address it.
we can address that issue. So yeah, and then of course Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, because they had their debate last night. I couldn't really watch the full thing, but
Yeah, I saw excerpts. I did.
What do you think of it?
I did. I mean,
If I ask you on air who you would be voting for if you're an American citizen, will you tell me?
No, I will not.
But do you have someone you would have voted for
Absolutely.
if you're an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What are you more, a socialist, a capitalist? Are you more left? Are you more right? Are you
I'm
conservative?
not.
Are you liberal? What are you?
I'm Natalia. Yes, I'm Natalia.
Yes, I'm Natalia. What did you think of it, though, with the excerpts you saw?
You know, I don't like talking politics. I don't know if you've noticed that about
Why,
me.
though?
I don't like talking politics. It's just the thing. It's the reason why I'm not in the newsroom, because otherwise I would have been in the newsroom. Yeah, and I'd be addressing these people left, right, and center and questioning them and all the things that they do. You know, one of my problems when it comes to, especially the free education, I saw that Mahama mentioned that he was going to do first year tertiary free. I have a problem with that. Well, depending on when he says tertiary, I don't know what exactly he had in mind, but I was thinking more technical, right? Because those are the areas that we lack, right? When it comes to human resource in Ghana, those are the areas that we lack.
So the technical institutions.
The technical institutions. And a lot of the time, getting access to good artisans in Ghana is such a problem.
Yes.
It is, I think for me, it's such a problem. You know? I worry, right, that, I mean, if it would be unfair of me to put a percentage to, because I don't have the statistics to back it. But I think off the top of my head, I can say about maybe 70% mechanics in Ghana are operating with things they learned in 1990, right?
Some of them just even come and just watch, look around, and then they call themselves mechanic. There's nothing.
They are operating with things they learned in 1990, working on cars that were produced 2 years ago. No, working on cars that were produced 2 years ago, right? Working with information they have of cars from 20 years ago, right? It obviously doesn't come together. It is the reason why, you know, a lot of people's cars, I mean, we have these, a lot of these, how do I even call them? A lot of shops have opened, right, that do a lot of repairs for cars. You know, these ones are pretty recent and they do a lot of diagnosis on the cars before they touch them and all of that. Those ones are there. But your regular Ghanaian won't go there, you know, because it's a bit more expensive. So they like the wayside mechanic.
Yeah.
But the wayside mechanic, his technology and his ideas of fixing a car is from 1984. Yeah. When I had just...
And you just come back again with
you come back with 10 more problems, right? So I was thinking more of, you know, technical is where we lack human resource in the country at the moment. If we're thinking to do free tertiary, why don't we push everybody there? So that when you're done, you are self-employed. You're independent. You have work waiting for you. All you have to do is to, you know, put it out there and be good at what you do. And listen, getting people is, you know, on your fingertip. As opposed to the people that we already have. If you're unlucky and for some reason you need a plumber in your home, trust me when I tell you that it would take you a month to find a good one.
Yeah.
And that good one will come and take your money and say, oh, I'm going to buy something and come.
Yes.
And you won't see him again another 3 weeks after a persistent phone call.
Yes.
That is how bad the situation is.
Yeah.
And so why are we educating people to learn marketing and all these things, and after that there are no jobs even waiting for them? Like I have a problem with that. This is the reason why I don't like talking politics, because I get a bit passionate when I talk about these things, because sometimes I feel like I don't like where certain conversations go. So this is just an example to explain to you why
Yeah.
I don't talk politics. Because when I do, a lot of things don't come together for
Yeah.
me at all. You know, I've had a lot of policies that, especially the two parties,
Yeah, the dominant ones.
the dominant ones, have mentioned here and there. I haven't heard anybody talk about mental health. I haven't. It hasn't been touched on at all. Is it of concern to anyone? Where are we going? If you go to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital
If they
right
talk
now,
about everything now, what would they talk about
when they
come
come
to
into
power? What would they
oh
talk
my
about
God.
when they come to power? So you have to relax for them. When they come into
because
power,
if you
don't
go to
talk
the
about
Accra
the rest.
Psychiatric Hospital, you'd be amazed the problems that they have. Medications are not subsidized anymore. For mental health patients. And look, let's not talk politics.
Okay.
Let's do our final story.
Okay. So, Natalia doesn't want to touch politics.
No.
Another time
If I do,
we will not finish.
me, I'm too passionate. If I do, we'll do news today.
We'll do
I'll
it.
cross
You
over.
cross over.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a lady also trending. Actually, NSMK was trending this morning, but it's not so much trending now. But she's called Rich Lavodro. I think she spoke about how the National Science and Math quiz is not a determiner of whether or not a school is good and whether or not they have good students. It's not a determiner for anything, essentially, when it comes to academic knowledge. Yes, we've seen that some schools do well and blah, blah, blah. So people came after her. There were certain content creators who also shared their views on it. And then there was a subsequent video where she clarified and said she just doesn't think that should, it's not about saying this is bad or this is good and what not. She just feels like this should not determine whether or not I am good enough in terms of National Science and Math quiz and whatnot. She's from Insane Senior High School or so. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation and all of that. But she gave an analogy where she said, can we try to move the teachers from category A schools and then bring them to category D schools and then see what happens with that, like see where it goes, see whether category D school students would actually be able to do much better than they do now. I found it extremely interesting. From her perspective, I get the whole idea of National Science and Math quiz is not a determiner of whether or not someone is good enough and whether or not a school is good and blah, blah, blah. But there also has to be a reason why some schools are consistent at the top. It's not just about the fact that, okay, Etwanam went and then she did well. It's because Etwanam from School A has been doing well consistently. That is why someone will say School A is good.
It's good.
When it comes to category A, category D schools, I was told, I don't know how true it is, but I was told that it actually depends on the facilities available in the school. That is how the categorization is done.
Right.
And of course, with time, you also realize that most of these category A schools have students that really do well. But look at BEC. Look at what it takes initially to even get into these category A schools. So to say that you don't think that, it essentially is a marker, I disagree with her.
I agree. I completely agree
and
because,
Natalia,
first of all, why is it that people think or people seem to think that a school that is being deemed as academically, you said academically what?
They are good academically.
No, you said, okay. A school being academically good is only based on science and math.
It's not.
When did we get there?
No. My issue with her is thinking that if we switch teachers from
forget
both
about that.
schools,
That's her coming back to
Yes,
explain
but
because
Natalia,
she got the bashing. But who says that being good at science and math makes you ultimately very intelligent? How did we come to that conclusion? Is science and math the only subjects that people? No, I need more clarification because there are people in the arts who are brilliant.
Yes.
Who do brilliant things.
Yes.
Who do amazing things. Who contribute amazingly.
I did art, so I also understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, so I really don't understand this whole whatever about science and maths, and the fact that people would say that, for all the schools that do well at NSMQ.
NSMQ.
Means that, these schools are good. I'm sorry, but I've never agreed. I will never agree. Let's make it a level playing field, right? So, if you add more subjects to that equation, and these same schools are still at the top, then I would agree.
Okay.
But let's not make that conclusion based on science and maths.
Okay.
Because guess what? A lot of the people who are good at science and maths are horrible at other subjects.
Okay.
I know that because when I went to school, I had a few of my mates who were really good at maths and science. They were terrible at English. Even common spelling, like to spell normal common words was such a problem for them. You can't tell me that person is intelligent. Okay. I don't know on what scale you would sit to tell me that individual is intelligent. No. Intelligence is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
across
board. You can't know one or two subjects and be hailed that, I'm there, Nah, I'm sorry. You're going to have to come again.
Okay,
I have never agreed with that. I will never agree with that.
But
I think that
you also realize that with the schools, I'm not even talking the individuals here, with the schools that tend to do well at the National Science and Math Quiz, these schools also have general arts classes, they have visual arts classes, they have home economics, and when you look at their WASI outputs, they are actually doing well across board. NSMQ, we are only seeing science students, yes,
but that is the conversation.
So the school is good then.
No,
it's the conversation of being a category A school, isn't it?
It is deserving of being a category A school.
Yeah,
but the conversation is on NSMQ, and this person's update or post or whatever she did said that we should not classify these schools as being the best just because they continuously win when it comes to science and math quiz. And that I agree. If she had said anything differently.
But then she's talking about the schools, and I'm just telling you that in these same schools, you have their art students doing exceptionally well. You have their home economy, just because we don't have a competition for them to determine that. We have WASI, where we can see that they're still doing so well.
Maybe if we had a competition for them in those other areas, you would see how and these categories of schools.
Yeah.
This is past glory records we're still sitting on today. This is not present. You don't understand. This is not a present day something.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you. I tell you no lie. It's a Manchester thing. It's a past glory thing. It's a past glory thing. This is students who did well 40 years ago. And today's student is still sitting on that glory for what? But I'm sorry. Let's have a different conversation. I can't do it. News is coming up next.
When Natalia is getting emotional, she says, you know what? Let's just wait.
I know. Thank you.